The FIA has just dropped explosive new evidence from the Abu Dhabi 2025 Grand Prix, putting Lando Norris championship hopes in jeopardy and sending the paddock into a frenzy. This revelation focuses on Norris' controversial overtake on Yuki Tsunoda, which could result in a penalty potentially crowning Max Verstappen as the new champion. The twist? Norris went off track to avoid a collision, but telemetry and high-speed footage suggest he may have gained a measurable advantage, creating a championship-defining dilemma. And the fallout? Rival teams, fans, and pundits are analyzing every frame, while Red Bull strategists calculate how the FIA's ruling could rewrite the final standings of 2025. Subscribe now, you cannot miss a single second as this explosive F1 drama unfolds and the championship hangs in the balance. The Abu Dhabi 2025 Grand Prix became the center of intense scrutiny after new FIA evidence emerged regarding Lando Norris' controversial overtake on Yuki Tsunoda. What initially appeared as a standard maneuver quickly transformed into a potential championship-deciding moment. The off-track move, executed under extreme racing conditions, is now the focus of an FIA investigation, highlighting the razor-thin margins that define Formula One. Telemetry data captured during the overtake provided precise insights into the McLaren's performance. Every detail, from throttle inputs to steering angles, brake pressure, and wheel speeds, was analyzed to determine whether the off-track excursion offered a measurable advantage. This data allowed FIA engineers to quantify the performance impact and evaluate the potential consequences on Norris' lap time and final positioning. High-speed video footage offered further evidence. Frame-by-frame analysis of multiple angles revealed how Norris' trajectory allowed him to maintain momentum and a smoother racing line compared to staying fully on track. This visual verification corroborated the telemetry data, demonstrating that even split-second decisions in high-speed racing can have championship-altering consequences. Driver context was also a key factor. Norris had to react instantaneously to Tsunoda's defensive position, making the off-track decision partially a matter of safety. However, the telemetry and video show that this maneuver also provided a subtle performance benefit. Understanding this dual-nature safety versus competitive gain became crucial in the FIA's assessment of potential sanctions. Consistency and repeatability were analyzed to determine the maneuver's impact across the race. Engineers and analysts reviewed prior and subsequent laps to see if leaving the track produced measurable advantages consistently. Findings suggested that the trajectory did offer repeatable benefits, such as improved exit speed and cornering stability, strengthening the case for potential penalties under F1 regulations. The paddock's reaction was immediate and intense. Rival teams and analysts scrutinized every piece of leaked footage and telemetry, speculating on how the FIA's decision could affect the championship outcome. Red Bull and Verstappen strategists calculated scenarios in which a points deduction for Norris could flip the title, amplifying the drama and tension among teams and fans alike. Finally, this incident underscores the precision and depth of modern Formula One oversight. Every maneuver, particularly one with championship implications, is analyzed using telemetry, simulations, and video evidence. Norris' overtake illustrates how minute technical advantages and split-second decisions can shape the season's outcome. The FIA's evidence sets the stage for a potentially historic ruling, leaving the title hanging in the balance and keeping the F1 community on the edge of their seats. The FIA's investigation into Lando Norris' controversial overtake in Abu Dhabi 2025 produced a comprehensive set of raw telemetry and race data, enabling a precise reconstruction of the maneuver. Every critical parameter of the McLaren, including throttle input, steering angle, brake pressure, and wheel speed, was analyzed to determine the measurable advantage gained by going off-track. This granular dataset forms the backbone of the FIA's technical assessment and potential sanctions. Mechanical simulations were conducted using the telemetry data to model the dynamics of Norris' maneuver under controlled conditions. Engineers replicated tire loading, suspension response, and aerodynamic forces to understand how the off-track trajectory contributed to speed and stability. These simulations confirmed that the maneuver produced consistent, measurable gains, highlighting the high stakes of even split-second decisions in Formula One. High-speed video footage added visual verification to the telemetry and simulations. Multiple angles captured Norris' trajectory as he navigated past Tsunoda, illustrating how the off-track line reduced tire scrubbing and optimized corner exit speed. Frame-by-frame analysis confirmed that the performance benefit was not incidental but a repeatable outcome, crucial for assessing potential penalties. Driver behavior was analyzed alongside mechanical data to determine intent and control. Norris' instantaneous decisions, including throttle modulation, steering, and braking, were evaluated to assess how much skill and control were involved in executing the maneuver safely. The FIA used this analysis to balance considerations of driver safety against the competitive advantage gained. Consistency and repeatability of the off-track advantage were meticulously examined. Analysts reviewed prior laps and subsequent laps to determine whether leaving the track consistently produced superior exit speeds and cornering stability. Findings suggested that the trajectory offered repeatable benefits, reinforcing the case for points deductions or other sanctions under F1 regulations. The paddock reaction to the raw data was immediate and intense. Rival teams scrutinized every telemetry reading, video frame, and insider report, assessing the impact on championship points. Red Bull and Max Verstappen's camp calculated scenarios in which a penalty to Norris could swing the title in Verstappen's favor. This dynamic amplified the tension and drama surrounding the 2025 Abu Dhabi finale. Finally, the integration of telemetry, simulations, high-speed footage, and driver analysis demonstrates the sophistication of contemporary Formula One oversight. The FIA's meticulous review ensures competitive fairness and regulatory compliance, showing how even milliseconds in minor maneuvers can determine championship outcomes. Norris' overtake illustrates that in modern F1, data-driven analysis can literally decide who lifts the trophy at season's end. In modern Formula One, technical scrutiny is essential for determining the fairness and impact of every racing maneuver. The FIA's investigation into Lando Norris' overtake in Abu Dhabi utilized detailed telemetry, capturing throttle input, steering angles, brake pressures, wheel speeds, and tire loads. This allowed engineers to assess the exact mechanical advantage gained by leaving the track, providing a data-driven foundation for evaluating potential penalties. Telemetry revealed that Norris' off-track maneuver resulted in a measurable increase in corner exit speed. By leaving the racing line, he maintained momentum and optimized tire grip, resulting in a faster acceleration onto the following straight. This analysis demonstrated that the maneuver offered a tangible competitive advantage beyond mere collision avoidance, making it critical for the FIA to assess its championship impact. Mechanical simulations complemented the telemetry, allowing engineers to model tire loading, suspension dynamics, and aerodynamic flow during the overtake. By simulating different scenarios, the FIA could predict how the off-track path affected car balance and performance. These simulations also helped verify that the advantage gained was consistent and reproducible, an essential factor when considering a points deduction or penalty. High-speed video footage provided visual verification of the telemetry and simulations. Multiple camera angles captured Norris' trajectory, revealing how the off-track line minimized tire scrubbing and enabled smoother cornering. Frame-by-frame analysis confirmed that the maneuver produced a repeatable performance benefit, bridging the gap between theoretical models and real-world racing dynamics. Driver behavior was also closely analyzed. Norris' steering inputs, throttle modulation, and braking decisions were studied to determine the extent of skill required to execute the maneuver safely. The FIA evaluated whether the off-track action was primarily defensive or whether it also conferred a measurable competitive advantage, weighing both intent and outcome in their technical assessment. Environmental conditions were taken into account during the analysis. Track temperature, wind, tire pressures, and grip levels were monitored to ensure that performance gains were not incidental. This comprehensive assessment ensured that the FIA's evaluation accounted for realistic racing conditions and provided an accurate reflection of how the maneuver affected race results and championship standings. Finally, the integration of telemetry, simulations, high-speed video, and driver behavior demonstrates the depth and sophistication of FIA oversight. Every aspect of Norris' overtake was analyzed to ensure regulatory compliance and competitive fairness. This technical evaluation shows that in modern Formula One, even split-second actions, analyzed with precision, can determine the outcome of a season and ultimately decide who claims the championship. The FIA's revelation about Norris' off-track overtake has sent shockwaves through the Formula One paddock, with immediate consequences for the championship standings. Teams and analysts quickly recalculated potential points scenarios, realizing that a penalty could shift the title in favor of Max Verstappen. The tension is palpable, as a single ruling could rewrite the narrative of the 2025 season. Norris himself faces intense scrutiny and pressure from media, fans, and rival teams. Interviews and social media commentary highlight the polarizing nature of the maneuver, with some defending it as a necessary safety decision, while others argue it offered a measurable performance advantage. This duality underscores how high-stakes decisions on track can have ramifications far beyond a single lap. Red Bull's strategy team has been forced into immediate contingency planning. Verstappen's championship hopes now hinge on the FIA's ruling, prompting Red Bull engineers and strategists to explore every scenario, from potential points deductions to race reclassifications. The atmosphere is one of calculated urgency, with every minute scrutinized to anticipate the FIA's next move. The FIA's scrutiny extends beyond the single maneuver. Officials are considering precedent, regulatory fairness, and the potential implications for future races. Their decision will set a benchmark for how off-track maneuvers under safety pressure are judged, influencing driver behavior, team strategies, and the enforcement of track limits for seasons to come. Fans and analysts have dissected every frame of footage and every telemetry reading. Forums, social media, and sports media outlets are ablaze with speculation about the potential outcome. The drama has reignited debates about fairness, driver judgment, and the thin line between safety and competitive gain, making the championship one of the most controversial in recent years. The emotional toll on Norris is evident. Interviews suggest a combination of relief, frustration, and focus on preparing for next season. While the FIA deliberates, the McLaren driver must navigate public scrutiny, maintain team morale, and process the potential consequences of the ruling, all while preparing for future races that will demand peak performance. Finally, the unfolding drama underscores the razor-thin margins that define Formula One. A single maneuver, analyzed through telemetry, video, and driver input, can determine not just race results but the entire championship. The FIA's decision regarding Norris will resonate throughout the sport, influencing tactics, driver behavior, and fan perception for years, highlighting how technical precision and split-second judgment define the very essence of F1 competition.